Seemingly lost in the shuffle this week with all the NFL draft trade rumor shenanigans was the signing of guard/center Stefen Wisniewski. And the Bitterbirds are here to talk about it. And don't worry, we've got some Carson Wentz talk as well on the docket. Jeremy Burton is here. I'm Adrian Fedque. Villanova just won a national championship. I don't know how I feel about that.
Neither do I. Well, I mean, it's good for the city. I mean, we're both Temple alums, so good for them. I'm just happy I saw a phenomenal. I couldn't ask for a better championship game as far as just an overall just exciting basketball game. So the way it ended, it was a lot of excitement, and too bad it wasn't Temple, but at least it's a Philly team. It brings a little bit of kind of what how basketball should be played. Temple should play like this, but unfortunately Villanova is going to take all the good recruits from us. So, we kind of got the shitty end of the stick on this one.
Yeah, I mean, very well played game. Good defense, good offense on both sides. Miracle shots at the end. I mean, it was a great game. I'll say this: I didn't root for Villanova. I didn't really care if they won, but I did get a little teared up at halftime when Craig Sager was interviewing Michael Jordan. You see, I had an uncle who passed away when he was 6. When I was 6, not when he was 6. When I was 6, and he went to Villanova, and well, unfortunately, he passed away because of leukemia, and that's exactly what Sager had. So Sager has, and it obviously has a couple months to live. So that's what it made me think of when he was interviewing Jordan. Amazingly, I didn't really think about my uncle all tournament long, and then all of a sudden that moment, I was like, oh shit! And all of a sudden, not that I wanted Nova to win, but I was like, all right, I didn't care anymore if they won. Obviously, I'm a Temple guy. I don't give a shit about Villanova. I don't care, whatever. And from my perspective, they are now going to take away all of the recruits in Philadelphia. Not that they weren't before, but they're going to do it even more so now. So where's my shirt? I don't know if I can find my shirt. I'm not going to find it, Jay.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, there it is. A big
there's a parade. There's a parade coming up, and here's what I have to say.
Flip the bird.
So there you go. Fuck Nova. Bye.
It's funny. They're doing the parade right where I was on Halloween Day 2008. They're doing the same spot. It's not the same. And then when the Phillies won, I mean, that was just citywide, millions and millions of people showing up to that. I don't think this is going to be quite the crowd, but, it's still good for the city. I'm just, a 4-for-4 Philly guy. So, even though they're my rival in the Big Five, I still think it's good for the city. The city's happy and excited. So, hell, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I rooted against them. I wasn't like that, but I just don't care. I don't care if they won. It didn't affect me. When Chris Jenkins hit that shot, I felt nothing. All right. So that's it. All right. This is an Eagles show. So we got some of that talk out of the way. We're here to talk about Wisniewski and why we like the signing. So I'll let you go first. Why is it such a great signing?
Well, I think it fills the last starting position in this team that, at least an average NFL starter. I think the last spot was at left guard. And Stefen we talked about this a lot. Is it Stefan? We discovered it's Stefen Wisniewski. I think we'll fill that starting left guard spot. He's out to prove himself. He was on 2 crappy franchises his whole career so far, but second round pick, Penn State product. He's shown his versatility between guard and center. He's been very healthy his whole career. He's only missed, I believe, 3 career games or 4 in 5 years. Yep. So, that's great. Great thing to ask for. And, it gives us more depth at the O-line because, I don't want the likes of Tobin, Gardner, or Barbary really there. give it to the new guy. Let him prove himself, and I think he will.
Yeah, he's started 15 games at guard as a rookie with Oakland in 2011, I believe. Now that's the only time he's ever played guard, but it's not like he can't make that seamless transition back to guard. Now here's where things are a little bit more interesting, because obviously he's going to be in the competition to start at left guard, but it would not surprise me if at some point, if Jason Kelce is as bad as he was last year, it would not surprise me if Wisniewski is our center, like, say, a month or two heading into this, once the season gets going. Here's my thought on that. Kelce, only 280 to 285 pounds. That was his listed weight at the end of the season. Now, obviously, with this offense and scheme, it's going to be a lot more power football than finesse. So schematically, Kelce, he's not going to be doing that pull sweep anymore with Chip Kelly. That's something he's very adept at doing, getting on the second level. He's a very athletic center. Now, obviously, he's good in the screen game. But in terms of actually moving massive men backwards, that's what he struggles with. I mean, did you see the Miami game with Ndamukong Suh? That motherfucker pushed him like 5 yards backwards every snap. So I'm concerned about Kelce playing center. So this is a little bit of an insurance policy. Wisniewski is 305. Starting center for Kansas City last year, Mitch Morse, 305. Kelce needs to add like 20 pounds to get there.
Yeah, you bring up some great points, and hopefully he's dieting right and bulking up and getting fatter, and he can be more of that bruising center we need. Back in the Jamal Jackson days, I mean, he was a massive man. You gotta win this fight at the O-line, and right now Wisniewski has the weight advantage on him. So yeah, maybe Kelce will work a little extra hard this offseason, because we know he's a great player when he's at his best. So in this new scheme, we'll see how he fits in. It's going to be more of a power running game that Doug likes to run, like you said. So, Wisniewski is a great insurance policy on top of everything. And like I said, I think this fills the last starting position on our whole team.
Yeah, and it's the way the Eagles have approached the offensive line this offseason is basically what I wanted them to do. So I wanted them to sign one high-priced guard, and I wanted them to sign a lower-priced guy. Now, in terms of the draft, I still want them to draft like 2 or 3 linemen, because you need future tackle with Jason Peters possibly retiring next couple of years. So you still need some work there on the O-line, but you sign Brandon Brooks, you sign Wisniewski, even though it's only a 1-year deal. I like the moves.
Yeah, it's a 1-year deal. You can make up to $2.76 million with incentives, but the actual base pay is less than that. So it's a great deal. It's low risk, again, high reward. We've had a couple of these with Howie, and and what I like about how it affects the draft is we don't necessarily have to. We stay at 8, that is, have to jump for Ronnie Stanley, who there's people saying now that there's just one tier of offensive linemen, that's Laramie Tunsil, and then there's the 3 other guys, Conklin, Decker, and Stanley. Stanley doesn't really separate himself from Conklin and Decker as much as people once thought. That's all due to people's opinions, but I want a stud defensive player at number 8. That's what I want. I want some Bosa, some Jack, some Buckner. I want that impact the guy on the line or linebacker. Some
Bosa and some Jack. That sounds like a Friday night.
Yeah, it could. I love Jack.
Yeah, we've had our yeah, that's it. That's all I'll say. Jack Fire.
Oh yeah, that stuff's delicious.
Yeah. Okay. So you brought up some stuff draft wise. Well, obviously, the Carson Wentz rumors have been just ridiculous. Every day there's something new. It sucks for me because I'm writing for Philly Influencer, and every day there's something I got to write about. So I have 10 times more work than I should have, and it's bullshit. But whatever. Okay, so here's some of the stuff I'm hearing from this past week, from even today, I'm hearing that it might not take that much to move up to number 8. Like, I thought before it was going to take like 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Now, this morning, Adam Schefter said, swap a first this year, a first next year, and a few later round picks, whatever that means. But that's a lot better than 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we already don't have our second this year. I am not giving up our second next year. And it's funny you bring up all this writing about the trade rumors, all this work, and there's probably like 80% chance that it's not even going to happen. We're just going to stay there at 8. None of these rumors are true. I mean, they're all rumors. That's all it is. So who knows? But yeah, I heard Shefty this morning on Anthony Gargano's show, and yeah, I mean, it's better than 2 1s and 2 2s. Obviously, is he worth it? You know, no, nobody knows until we see him hit the field. But you know, I still want to save that first round pick next year, and even though there's still the asking price isn't as steep as we once thought possibly, I still want that first round pick next year. I still want a defensive player at 8, and I would love a guy like Dak Prescott with our first 3rd round pick.
Yeah, here's kind of my thought process on why I'm considering the deal. All right, so obviously we're in a pickle at quarterback. Now, I know some of you guys like Sam Bradford. He's not winning us a Super Bowl. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. All right, so we need a quarterback. We need a franchise guy. Now, here's the thing about this. I don't think Wentz is going to be elite. I think he's going to be like a fringe top 10 sort of quarterback, like a Matt Ryan. Now, normally, if you want to move up, you want a guy like Andrew Luck or a guy like Mariota. I don't think he's going to be as good as these guys. But here's the thing, too. The Eagles have only picked in the top 10 3 times in the last 20 years. So you may not get an opportunity like this again. And if you don't take Wentz this year, I mean, you're not going to get Deshaun Watson next year. So I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. I feel like I'm on the fence more than a lot of other people. A lot of other people are just like, fuck no, I'm not doing this deal.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity's knocking. You don't know when you're going to be in the top 10 again. I bet I can name those 3 picks. Lane Johnson, Corey Simon, and is Mike Moore the other one? Or Donovan. No, yeah, Donovan.
So wait, so maybe Simon wasn't a top. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Simon was.
3 out of the last 20 years.
Yeah, and then
maybe
Donovan.
It's not true. Maybe they fucked up. I forget where I saw that.
Because Mamula was a top 10, and he was in '96 was 20 years ago. So he must have been like 94 or something. I think. I forget when Mamula was. He must have been just outside the 20-year mark. But anyway, regardless, yeah. I mean, we don't know when we're gonna be in this position again. And I know Dougie P loves him. Apparently, Dougie P loves Carson. So
I just wrote that today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we all know how he feels about him. He wants him if at all possible, but is the price too steep? Well, other teams want to up the price, then we have to up the price, and then I'm bailing for sure. Like I am not overpaying for a prospect that isn't a surefire. This is a weak QB class. I said this before. Like I have a feeling like he's getting overvalued because it's such a weak QB class. He is, I'll agree, the best of the class, but I'd rather take a flyer on a mid-round guy like Prescott. Yeah.
Now this is where I get to this because another reason why I'm thinking about it, I hate Jared Goff and I hate Paxton Lynch. So I see Goff as like a Jay Cutler type, and Lynch I just think he's a bust. So I see him as like a Ryan Mallett. I think he's dumb as shit. I don't think he's going to translate to the NFL. Prescott and Hackenberg, those are the other 2, rumored quarterbacks that the Eagles are looking at. I believe the report I saw today, they're going to work out Christian Hackenberg later this week, and they're flying in Prescott, Goff, and Wentz to do workouts at the NovaCare complex, part of their pre-draft visits that they're allowed to have. I believe they're allowed to have 30 pre-draft visits at the NovaCare complex instead of like flying, to wherever hell North Dakota State's campus is. You can bring in 30, I believe, is the number.
Yeah, so they obviously have interest in. They're 100% going to draft the quarterback. They obviously they're bringing in like all the top, what now, 5 or 6 they've worked out, at least met 6 of the guys, maybe 7.
Yeah.
So they definitely want one of these guys. And the only way to know, before the draft, the only way to know them best is to bring them in for a private workout and see what they can do. And like Doug said, he doesn't care about pro days. He wants to see your individual workouts. Come here, we're going to tell you what to do and show us what you got.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, EDP made a video today, which is just ridiculous. I don't know where these rumors came from, but people are speculating on Twitter. Fletcher Cox at a first to move up to number 1. Now, if they did that, I am stalking Howie Roseman and I'm chopping his dick off.
Let's get real. It's not gonna happen. If it happens, I will be right there with you, and I'll just kill it.
So I'll chop the dick off, and then you finish the job.
Yeah, we'll torture him, and then we'll kill him.
Yes.
We'll pull any Game of Thrones fans out there what Ramsay did to Theon. We'll have to give Roseman another name like he did to Theon. We'll call him, instead of Reek, we'll call him just, I don't know. I'm thinking something.
We'll think of something. I don't know, weak. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, we'll think of something. All right. So clearly we're both on the same boat there. Now a trade scenario that I thought of last week that wouldn't involve draft picks per se, but now I don't know if I would do this after hearing the Schefter rumor. So the trade I had in mind was 2 firsts, Eric Rowe, and Connor Barwin. Now the reason why I would include Rowe in the deal is because he's probably my favorite young defensive player. So you got to give up something. So Rowe would be that guy, and then Barwin, because he's not going to start for us. So, and he's a little bit overpaid if he's not a starter. So why not, package him for Tennessee, and he can work in that defense. So that was my trade scenario last week.
No, I don't want it.
No, I don't want it.
No, not good. Rowe could be a cornerstone piece if we take Hargraves at 8. Like I said before, I would love to have Hargraves and Rowe for the next 8 to 10 years and be our Vincent and Taylor, our Sheldon and Lito. I mean, I think with Dougie P's approach, the way he was in Kansas City, great defense, game manager, quarterback, the defense was better than the offense. Now, and we're going along the same lines here with bringing Schwartz in. So Andy brought in Jim Johnson, the same sort of comparison there in their first year with the Eagles, Doug and Andy. I want defense right now. I want a top 10 player in this draft to be on our team on the defensive side and work him in. He might not make an instant impact, but he very well might. I mean, give him a couple games and he might be a starter depending on who you draft, whether it's Hargraves, Jack, Faulkner, Bosa, whoever. They would all be in the rotation right away, and I think can make an impact right away as a rookie, which is what you want out of your first round pick, not a Marcus Smith first round pick scenario.
Yeah. If Wentz isn't the guy that they take or trade up for, whatever they decide to do, I do want a defensive guy at number 8. I want Vernon Hargraves. Now, the reason why I bring up Rowe, too, is because the quarterback position is all of a sudden not as important for this scheme as it was for Billy Davis's because of the way we're going to play. We're not going to pressure as much. It's going to be a lot of pressure generated with 4 guys. And with 4 guys pressuring the quarterback, obviously that leaves 7 players defending the pass. So Rowe's going to get a little bit more help. The cornerbacks are going to get a little bit more help. So that's why I would think about doing that. But I do like that thought process though, loading up on defense, but you need a quarterback to make that work. And well, I'm Sammy's just not going to get the job done. I'm sorry.
Well, what if Sammy throws 30 touchdowns this year to 10 picks, 4,000 plus yards? Then what do? And then 2017 he's in line for like a $24 million cap hit. If we drafted Wentz and Sam Bradford has a full 16 game year, all this, and you restructure and give him a long term deal? No, you probably trade him and restructure and trade, or trade and restructure, because no team is going to want 1 year remaining on the deal at whatever 20 some million. So these are interesting things. I mean, Bradford showed us a lot in the second half of the year, and one of the biggest things I say about Bradford this year is this is his first offseason where he's completely healthy in like 3 years, really. So, we've seen the prospect he was, similar prospect to Wentz. People saying, best pro day since Sam Bradford about Wentz. So, I want to see. I'm really anxious to see what Sleevey Wonder is going to do this year. He's not going to cut them sleeves. I know that. He's going to keep them sleeves. That's his trademark. He even said it. He doesn't like it tight fitting there on his small little biceps. He wants it loose. I think Bradford very well, if he's healthy, could have a great year. Which brings up, if we do get Wentz and give up all this overpay for Wentz, but then Bradford goes and has a good year, then what? I'd rather take a 3rd round flyer on a Prescott or Hackenberg, or even trade up from, if we have to, from early 3rd round to late 2nd round to maybe get one of Prescott or Hackenberg, and then we wouldn't have to give up nearly as much. We'd still have our 1st round pick next year. So that's my thing.
Well, if Sam Bradford kills it this year, then you might be able to get a 1st round pick for him. So that's the way I would look at it. All of a sudden you'd be in that sort of Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees situation where, you don't really know if you want to get, which quarterback you want, I guess. But, well, obviously in this situation we get Wentz if we traded up for him and all that. But a little similar situation here with that. And then you brought up the pro day. I mean, fuck the pro day. I don't care about that. The reason why I like Carson Wentz, I know all about Carson Wentz. I used to work at the Sports Network, right? The Sports Network, we used to cover the FCS awards before Stats bought us out last year. So we covered the FCS awards. We are responsible for the top 25 rankings. So we are entrenched in FCS football. I've watched many, many Carson Wentz games. So I think he's pretty good. I think he's the real deal. Do I think he's elite? Probably not. But like I said, kind of Matt Ryan, top fringe, top 10 sort of thing. He reminds me a lot of Matt Ryan, but he's actually got some wheels too to him. So that would be like the comparison I would make.
Yeah, I mean he's a great prospect. You see a lot of great things about him. I also saw, here's my little stat nugget nectar for the day.
Nugget of the day.
A little nugget of the day. He when facing a clean pocket, no pressure, he throws at a 71% clip, which is great. Facing pressure, 42.6%. Now, that's facing FCS pass rush. Now, what's he going to do in the NFL? Did you freeze up? Well, I think Adrian might be frozen in time. Not sure if we're still live, but we were gonna. That's pretty much it. We're gonna.